Hello and welcome back to the Kayla King Show. This is a juicy AF episode for you. Oh my goodness, where do I begin? I want to talk about the last 2 years where I have felt like I'm in a cocoon and now I am an emerging butterfly. I want to talk about all of the inner work and the shadow work and the healing that has been the absolute catalyst for what is going to be and is coming right now as one of the most exponential levels of expansion that I have ever experienced in my life or in my business, anything. Like, I have been preparing for this moment. I have been preparing for this moment for years, and it's going to look like it's all worked out and it's all been magic and it's all been mystical. But the truth is, when all of these manifestations come to life literally by the end of this year, you're going to think, how lucky is she? But I want to have a really fucking honest conversation with each and every one of you to let you know that this has been in the making for years. This has been me doing the inner work for at least a solid 2 years, as in my only focus in the last 2 years was my inner work. I had zero interest in growing my business because I could feel the shift that was happening within me was no longer in integrity for me to show up and deliver the services that I once used to deliver, because it was no longer in alignment for me to deliver those services. And so instead of showing up and forcing myself to deliver those services, I chose my truth. I chose to come back home to alignment and to center and to ground and to be in my power. I chose to leap into the unknown, having zero clue where the fuck I was going to land. All I knew is that I had to really sit with myself. I had to sit with my shadow. I had to do the deeper work, and I had to uncover parts of me that most would be too fucking scared to even witness. But the magic of sitting with your shadow is the exact reason why you will alchemize it and skyrocket to beyond the beyond, rising like an absolute phoenix and creating, oh my gosh, manifestations and a life and a reality that does not make sense. The candles are burning, but they're like firing right now. That's the level and the intensity of this conversation. The inner work, the moment that you alchemize the shadow, the parts of you that don't believe you're good enough, the parts of you that live in fear, lack, and scarcity, the parts of you that don't think it's actually all going to work out for you, the parts of you that hide and keep yourself small because you're too scared of being seen, any part of you that is not in alignment with your highest potential, the moment that you alchemize that shadow, you bring unconditional love to it, you alchemize it, and you rise like a phoenix, and you rise your frequency to the, oh my gosh, the actual screen is glitching right now. The moment that you alchemize and rise like a phoenix is the exact moment that you become the energetic match for your manifestation or the thing that you're calling in, because you have tapped into your highest potential and your highest timeline. That's the quantum leap. Because time is an illusion, it's not time, it's frequency. The quantum leap is up to your highest potential. And so I want to share with you, over the last 2 to 3 years is probably the deepest I've ever gone in my inner shadow work. And I'm going to share with you one thing that literally was the catalyst for me growing at a speed that defies logic. And actually, there's one more thing that's coming through for you, is I actually had to do a lot of inner work around being that type A person, the person that does all the things, the person who moves at a wild speed. And I actually had to learn to slow down. I had to learn to come into presence. I had to learn that it was okay to not work and that it was still of value to be present. And I had to learn that doing the inner work was as valuable, if not more, than actually showing up and doing the work. Because for me, being in my masculine held value. So I actually had to heal a lot of my wounding when it came to the feminine. It's actually going to make me cry, because this was a really big journey over the last 3 years, was finding and activating and embodying the absolute truth of my divine feminine and the value that she holds. So I now hold the belief that if I'm taking action in my business, that's highly fucking valuable. If I'm being present with my babies and going on adventures, doing all the things that light us up, highly fucking valuable. If I am in the bath, Epsom salts, candles on, music on, journaling, crying, quantum healing, channeling my own quantum healing, highly fucking valuable. Because both my masculine and my feminine are equal value. I had to do so much healing on that because for so long, my entire life, in fact, most of us have all been raised in a world where doing means value. Being in your masculine means value, and being in your feminine is less value. And you're not getting any tangible results done in the feminine, and so it's less value than the masculine when you're doing and taking the action and getting the actual tangible results. So not fucking true for where we're going in 2027 and beyond. But I had to move through the parts of me that didn't feel valuable as the feminine, as a mother. Do you know how wild that was? Like to actually not feel valuable as a mother, as a feminine. So when I'm in my feminine energy, that I wasn't valuable, that I couldn't receive in my feminine energy, that I had to give to receive, transaction. Huge levels of growth and evolution. Didn't see this conversation going here, but here we are. And this is a really valuable point, I guess, because for me to be doing all of the inner work and the shadow work and the deeper healing, that meant that I had to bring a lot of presence in my feminine energy. I had to sit with the emotions in my energetic body, and that's fully in my feminine. I was doing less action taking. I showed up in my business far less than ever before. And yet the value that I have created within myself from being with myself, meeting the depths of myself to a level that most will not be willing to go to, being that deep and intimate with my inner world and my shadow and my pain and my trauma and my triggers and my patterns and actually sitting with it. Whoa, that value will far outweigh the value that I have ever done in the last few years in my business taking action. And the reason for that is because I can also see what's coming because of the inner work that I've done. Because now what's shifted is the inner sacred alchemy of my masculine and my feminine. They are now in this beautiful divine inner union. Inner union. I'm getting shown visions and messages are coming through so fast and I'm trying to keep up because I'm literally getting shown an infinity sign and it's like the divine soul union in all of my chakras. So that's what's coming through for me right now. Okay, so what I was trying to share is that because I've come to this place of divine inner union, the balance and harmony between my masculine and feminine, both of equal value and both bringing such their divine gifts to this connection, I've now been able to create this whole new level in my business, and I can now see what is coming through me and what I'm magnetizing because of that inner sacred alchemy. Because I'm able to hold the vision and the intuition and the divine magic and oh my God, all of that playfulness and magnetism and pleasure that is the divine feminine, but it's also being held by my inner masculine, the one that holds my feminine, the one that holds her vision, the one that takes the vision and brings it to life through aligned action. I know when I need 222 on the timer. I know when I need to drop into my inner masculine and when I need to drop into my inner feminine. I know what my body is needing and how I need to shift between those two energies to create a harmonious fucking quantum leap in my external reality. So, this is a good one. This is a juicy episode. Coming back to how I created that inner sacred alchemy, is through this one practice. And you can, I want you to bring this into your life, in all areas of your life. In every experience, whether it's with your partner, your children, a relationship, a friendship, a client, in every experience that you have in your life, you have the opportunity to go deeper into the reflection. You have the opportunity to go deeper into the reflection and ask yourself, what are they reflecting back to me? This is the biggest, most transformational process that you can do that will quantum leap your awareness and raise your vibration to a higher perspective so you can see it from all different angles. In every circumstance, situation, you can ask, what is it reflecting back to me? If somebody is doing something that you don't love and it's triggering you, instead of stepping into the, I don't know, whatever's kind of like, I want to say F you, that's what's coming through, but like, instead of stepping into fuck you, blame, 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 take your power back, anchor, ground, and align, and ask yourself from a higher perspective, what is this reflecting back to me that I can't see within me? Because every single person, situation, and circumstance has a reflection. Everything is a mirror. It is showing back to you parts of you, and that gives you an opportunity to go deeper into those parts of you that you have abandoned and banished and hold shame and guilt for. And the moment that you alchemize those parts of you that you have abandoned, that you have not shed love for, that you have guilt and shame and you hold guilt and shame for or judgment for, the moment that you bring those parts of you back home and bring love to those parts of you, because all of you is loved unconditionally, is the exact moment that you detach from any of those circumstances, people, and situations. They can no longer affect you in that way anymore, because the reflection has shown you what you need, the wisdom and the gift in that experience. That's how you quantum leap at a wildfire speed. Like wildfire expansion, when you tap into every single moment in time and ask, what are they reflecting back to me? If your kid is triggering you beyond the beyond and you're about to lose your bananas, what are they reflecting back to you? What part are they triggering within you? And can you bring unconditional love to those parts of you that you have abandoned, judged, or shamed? Your child then has, in the world of energetics, your child then has no other option but to show up in a different way, because that energetic pull and misalignment within you has shifted. If you have a client who is triggering you, what is it about the client and that experience or that situation that is triggering you? What is it about that situation and experience that is activating you? Why do you want to react, not respond, react in a certain way? When you can ask yourself and like really sit with your shadow and be okay with seeing the parts of you that you want to hide, the moment that you're willing to look into the parts of you that you want to hide and look in the mirror and look in the reflection and actually ask yourself, what are they reflecting back to me? What parts of me have I shamed? What parts of me have I judged? What parts of me do I want to banish? When you can bring those parts into your heart and bring unconditional love to those parts of you, that situation will change. It's law. It has to change. Because your shift in energy has shifted your experience. This is the power that you hold when you exponentially expand your reality through shadow work, through mirrors and reflections, and through your triggers and traumas. When you consciously choose a different experience, when you bring home the parts of you that you once shamed, judged, or held guilt for, or banished, and like the skeletons in the closet, the things that you're like, oh, no, you're not going in there. No, nobody goes in there. I don't even go in there. When you open the door to the skeletons in your closet and you start to shine the light on all the pieces of you that you thought were not lovable, your whole fucking life is going to change. your whole life. You will stop attracting people and circumstances and situations that are bringing you in the same pattern and cycle as the skeletons in your closet. That is the power that you hold. Every moment that you are giving your power away to people, circumstances, and situations, you're pulling yourself out of alignment of your truth. You're giving your power away to something else, to someone else. But the way that you become unfuckwithable, undeniably the most powerful person in the room, is the moment that you bring love to the parts of you that you thought were once unlovable. The moment that you are so anchored and grounded in your truth that you refuse to show up as any other version of yourself. The moment that you're okay if someone doesn't love you for shining so bright or for being too much because you know who you are, you're good. The moment that you alchemize all of your fears and your shame and your guilt and your judgment, all the things that are holding you back and keeping you small, you alchemize that. And then you rise like a phoenix and you rise your frequency and you become the embodiment of love, miracles, magic, wealth. The higher frequencies of bliss, peace is the exact moment that you quantum leap to your highest potential, your highest timeline. That's the power that you hold when you do the deeper inner work, when you create deep inner sacred alchemy, the divine balance between your inner divine masculine and feminine. And the moment that you learn to fully anchor into your soul's truth and not give your power away to circumstances, situations, and people, that's when you become the most powerful person in the room. Unfuckwithable, unstoppable, undeniable, unwavering, the most powerful person in the room. In business, in relationships, with your wealth, as a mother, in all areas of your life. Because nothing and no one is going to pull you out of alignment. It's not possible. You know your truth and you're not moving. You hold compassion for other people's experiences, empathy for other people's experiences, but nothing pulls you out of alignment. You love yourself fully, wholly, and unconditionally, and therefore you no longer need to look outside of you for somebody else, some other situation or a circumstance to fulfill that part of you and that gap within you, because you are whole. That is inner sacred alchemy. That is when you are fully in your alignment, fully in your power, grounded and anchored in your truth. That's where your confidence, your conviction, your power, your magnetism, your pleasure is all completely activated from your divine truth, your center, your power. And that's the magic that you all hold when you lean into the inner work. That will be the absolute baseline for your quantum leap in your business, in your relationships, with your wealth, as a mother, in your life. That's when you become the energetic match for your highest potential in your highest timeline. It's because you have shifted all of the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, the lack, the survival, everything that has kept you small, and you alchemized it. And then you consciously chose to rise like a phoenix, to turn your pain into power. And that is right there where manifestations and miracles are happening. And that is right there where you become the energetic alignment for receiving it, not based on time. Time is an illusion. Receiving it now. That's how magical, that's the power that you hold. This is what I help you to do inside of Sacred Alchemy. This is a phenomenal 6-week online retreat where I support you to break through all of the shadow and the density, alchemizing it into light.